got there about 1:30 this morning, and then got out of there probably close to a little bit before 3 o'clock this morning. Got going down the road a while, and I ended up pulling over and taking me a little bit of a nap. Whenever my rest times are broken up like that, man, it's well, one thing, it's hard to, when you've had plenty of sleep, and then you only drive a few hours, and then you take another 10-hour break, and you try to get more rest, and you don't sleep good. It's kind of broken up. So I ended up having to pull over and taking about a little over an hour nap, and so I finally got back on the road. I just come through Guymon, Oklahoma, fixing to be down in Texas here in a little bit, and so I just thought I would shoot a little bit of this video. I probably won't shoot too much of me talking. I'll probably capture some video of some scenery if I can. I'll be driving through the night, probably most of the time, because let's see, I've got about 3.5 hours left of driving to do this morning, and then I'll take a 10-hour break and get back up. Let's see, it's 8 o'clock right now. It'll probably be about 11 o'clock, 11:30 by the time I start my 10-hour break, which means I'll be getting back up and hitting the road at 9:30 tonight. So it'll probably already be dark by then. And the bad thing about filming at night, I noticed, got some reflections, bouncing off the window, whether, it's light on the outside or on the inside of the truck. It makes it pretty difficult. Of course, my windshield doesn't look too good right now with bug guts scattered all across it. It doesn't take long out here in no man's land. So, but I'll probably shoot some video here and there, like I said, of some scenic stuff if I can. Probably, most likely, because I'll be going through Albuquerque tonight, so I'll probably shoot a little bit of Albuquerque. Typically, I don't get to see a whole lot of Flagstaff, so I don't even know if I'll film through Flagstaff, which is actually a good scenic area. But I don't think I'll be able to do it. And then next, coming out of Flagstaff, will be going down that big mountain I was talking about that I was a little nervous about taking this truck down, but I don't know if I'll film that or not. I really just, I may film it. I don't know. It'll be dark, so I'm not sure how good it'll be. But I may film it anyway, and just see how it turns out. And then I'll be down in southern Arizona by tomorrow morning. Maybe by tomorrow morning. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna go over my clocks a little bit more. I may break up my clocks a little bit. of yourself, and you catch yourself doing things like that, and you're like, oh man, I gotta stop that. So, but anyway, gotta watch my speed through here. 45. Don't need a ticket. Alright, I'm gonna cut this video off. Yep, look, right there. Police officer. Make sure I don't have one behind me. Alright, so I just wanted to go over that with y'all a little bit. Let you know what's going on. And I will catch you guys later on in the video. Oh Lord, we got a prime driver up here holding up traffic. The road's split now. I gotta pass the lane. I probably won't be able to pass him before it ends, but I think it's funny because when my wife's with me, I'll tell her, we'll come up on a prime truck like this, and I'll say, them dang prime drivers, and she'll say, well, you drive for prime, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but still, I don't hold up traffic like a lot of these guys do. I don't know what. The truck will do 65, and that's what prime allows. We're governed at 65. If you're a lease operator, you're governed at 65. If you're a company driver, you're governed at 62. So I run 65, because most of the time, most of these highways out here, like this one here, is a 75 mile an hour highway. So, I run 65, and most of the time it's like that. Most everywhere I go, it's usually 70 or above. So I run 65. Some people try to say, well, you get better fuel mileage at 55 or at 60, and yeah, that may be somewhat true. I think it mostly depends on where you're at in the country. If you're over in the mountains, whether it's the Appalachians or the Rockies, or you're gonna get a lot less fuel mileage no matter what you run. Same way, depends on the weather. Windy weather will affect your fuel mileage as well. So I don't count on that, running 55, 60 mile an hour. The thing is the little bit of fuel that you might save doing that, to me, in the long run, isn't worth it, because I not only get to have more me time, which is worth quite a bit to me. If I get somewhere, the quicker I get to my next destination, whether it's just staying overnight or to the delivery, pickup or delivery, it gives me more time for myself. Some places will allow you to show up early, and get unloaded early, or do a drop and hook, where you just drop your trailer, hook to an empty, and you take off. In those situations, the quicker you get rid of your load, the quicker you can pick up another load. So only are you making better time, but when you get in the situations where you can drop a load sooner and then jump on another load sooner, then that's more money you're making. You know, if you ran 55 to 60, you know, the last couple of loads, because you're worried about your fuel savings and your fuel mileage, you may miss out on a good paying load, or you may miss out on a load, period, because, you know, you ran that extra time. Because if you're running slower, well, that's just more of your clock you're using up. So if you're using up more of your clock, then that could stop you from getting another load. You may have to shut down for the night because you've used up so much time on your clock running a slow pace, that now you may have to shut down for the night and take a 10-hour break. Where me, I might have enough time on my clock to run and pick up another load, or at least get to another shipper, or get to my receiver that might have overnight parking. So I'm ahead of the game. And if you can get on another load faster, well, that's just more money you're going to make. You know, a person that ran 55 to 60 all week long, because that's the thing, is if you run 60, you're not averaging 60 miles an hour. What you're going to end up doing is averaging more around 50 to 55, especially in an area like this. You run into a lot of farm towns. That's why I haven't done much filming out here, because it's the same thing over and over and over again. Farm town, farmland. You know, you see a cow, maybe a farm equipment baling hay. You might see some wildlife, some antelope, you know. But other than that, it's just and a train. But other than that, it's just repetitive. You know, farm town, farmland, farm town, farmland, for miles and miles and miles. So when you come into these farm towns, the speed limit goes down to 55, sometimes as low as 30 miles an hour. So if you've been running 55 on this, highway that's a 75 mile an hour highway, or say you've been running 60, when you come into these towns where the speed limit drops to 35, well, your average speed just dropped. So where you might average, because of your average speed dropping, you might average down closer to around, say, if you've been running 60, but because of the speed reductions, you end up averaging 50. Well, because I'm running 65, when I come into these speed reductions, it may just bring my speed average down to 55, somewhere between 55 and 60. So I'm averaging at a higher speed than you. Therefore, it's going to get to me to whatever destination I'm going to. Like I said, whether it's to take my 10-hour break, which gives me a little extra me time at the end of my run, or getting to a shipper and receiver sooner, which may benefit me, and also may give me another load into the week, where you might average, or you might get 3 loads in this week. I may get started on a 4th load. Now, that load might not land on this pay period, but if I can already get on a, because pay period goes from Wednesday to, from Thursday, well, actually it's Wednesday evening, but we'll say from Thursday to Wednesday. It's actually more like from Wednesday at 4:01 p.m., which is 16:01, to 1600 4 p.m. the next Wednesday. But we'll say just keep it simple, Thursday to Wednesday. So you may finish out your week with those 3 loads and end up finishing out on Wednesday. Where because I run a little harder, may end up finishing out on Monday or Tuesday on 3 loads and get to pick up a 4th load, and I might get to deliver it maybe on Thursday. So yes, that goes on to the next pay period, but because I got that load in on Thursday, I get to jump on another load. So I'm going to get 3 loads in that next week, which means I'll get 4 loads in that week, which means that paycheck, that settlement is going to be higher. Where you're just going to continuously, if you run, 55, 60, you're going to more than likely average a 3 load average, where I'm going to be able to alternate every other week, possibly with a 4th load. So the money you think you're saving, I'm actually making up for by getting that extra load, and probably even making extra money because of that extra load. Now, it doesn't work out exactly that way 100% of the time, but over a period of time, in the long-term thinking, I will make more money. So therefore, it pays me that fuel, extra fuel that I burn. I make that money back. I don't really lose anything on that. And then on top of that, like I said, having extra me time means a lot to me. I mean, anytime I can have an extra 30 minutes to an hour or an hour and a half, where I can, zone into what I would like to do, maybe one of my TV shows or making these videos, things like that, or making a phone call to a family or friend and then getting to talk to them because I had the extra time to do that. That means a lot to me. That to me is worth the money that I may be burning some of the extra money that I'm burning. It allows me to, gives me that extra me time to let go of the stress that I've been under all day long or all week long. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people probably out there that has this misconception. Oh, you just hold a steering wheel and drive a truck. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than that, and a lot of mental stress you have to deal with because you have to deal with horrible drivers out here. I mean, take for instance my last 3 months of experience that I've had. I've been backed into twice and got hit by lightning. So it's not like it's all fun and games out here. I'm not just out here enjoying the scenery and stuff all the time. There's a lot of headaches that come with this job. You got to deal with, even though you don't have to deal with people necessarily face to face all the time, you have to deal with people on the road all day long, constantly. Then when you come up to red lights and you got to make a right-hand turn, you got to judge the turn, watch your trailer, make sure you don't run over nothing, make sure you don't hit anybody in front of you, make sure you're making your turn correctly. Same way with backs, make sure you're backing up properly, make sure you're not going to hit anybody like I've been hit twice here lately. Make sure you're going to back into your dock correctly, and just a lot of mental stress out here. And so I love having the extra time for me to let all that go and get it out of my head and get my mind focused on other things. So that's a little bit of insight on that. Plus, trip planning is a huge ordeal. got to kind of make that judgment call whether it's worth it or not. Sometimes I will if it's not too far out of my way. Sometimes I won't, because you got to look at, like, you know, when your appointment time is, how much time you have on your clocks, you know, where the geographical area is, like how much fuel you're going to burn trying to get there. You know, if you're in the mountains, do you really want to run an extra 50 miles out of your way to save on, you know, to save a couple of pennies per gallon, just to climb a bunch of extra mountains, you know? So that's something you learn as you go. I mean, I still learn a lot of stuff like that every day. You know, I'll make a call because I'm not familiar with the area, and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, because it ended up costing me, you know, probably just as much as it's saying that I'm going to save. So I could have went ahead and went somewhere else and spent an extra 2 or 3 cents a gallon and saved myself a lot of headaches. So trip planning is a huge deal too on saving money and saving fuel. I know there's a lot of people out here that they're not familiar with the highways, and in some areas I'm not either. But I'm learning that there are roads I can take, kind of like this road here. It's a 2-lane road that saves me on mileage. So, and yeah, I got to go through some extra towns that slows down and stuff, so I might burn a little extra fuel in those areas. But you know, you got to make that judgment call. If you stick to the interstate, but it takes you an extra 50 to 100 miles out of the way to stay on an interstate, well, just think about how much fuel you're burning doing that. So, you know, because even though you're staying at a higher rate of speed and at a constant speed, you're still burning all that extra fuel going that extra 50 to 100 miles. So you kind of got to weigh your odds and make a choice. Now, I've ran this route right here a few different times, and I'm familiar with it, and it's mostly open road. Yes, there's farm towns I got to slow down in and stuff, but again, mostly open road. So it doesn't. I don't feel like, you know, because when I looked at the route choices I had, one was saying 1,000, like I don't know, I think it was like 1,100 miles, maybe a little over, to go that way, which would have stuck more to the interstates though. But it had extra toll money, so that I would have lost money on tolls. I mean, I already had to pay some, but I would have lost more on tolls. And you know, it was an extra like around 70 to 80 miles longer. So this is the way to go right here, especially if you're coming out of Oklahoma, because that's where your tolls are actually, you know, you're gonna accrue your tolls is coming out of Oklahoma. But anyways, it's a little insight into that. I've already talked 18 minutes. It doesn't take long. Let's see, I've got 2 more hours to go until I get to where I will stay the night. Or, well, not stay the night, I'll stay the day. But it looks like to me I'll be driving through Albuquerque at night. I'll probably still film that and add that to this clip. And then I've decided I'm gonna break up my next drive time into possibly two 5-hour drive periods, because I really want to hit that mountain in the daytime. Not only to film it, but just for my sake too. I don't want to be trying to go down that mountain and me brakes or my engine brakes going down that thing, and at nighttime, I would much rather do it in the day where I can see a lot better. But I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Hola, ¿cómo estás? All right, so I made it to a TA here in Desert Land, New Mexico. I was actually going to record a little snippet of whenever I came into New Mexico, but something caught my eye, something shiny. My ADD kicked in. I ended up violating my clock. I took that hour nap earlier this morning, which is over an hour. I think it ended up being close to an hour and a half. So my 14-hour clock was still running during that time. I have multiple clocks I got to go by. I won't get into all that right now. I'm just trying to make this kind of quick. So hour and a half break. Run my 14-hour clock down. I still had enough time to make it here. Well, you'll see in the clip, you know, I run into traffic, backed up traffic. Of course, there's an exit ramp. In the video, you should be able to see trucks going down that exit ramp. They were hitting historic Route 66. I was wishing at the time that I'd went down the historic route. Glad I didn't. You'll see in the video, should see the SUV that run into the guard or cables. I don't understand that. And then I really don't understand the next one. Got up there, and if you see the semi, I may try to take maybe like a screenshot of it out of the video and zoom in. It looked like to me the back end of the trailer had been hit, knocked the doors completely off, because the doors were on a flatbed truck, a little tow truck, like a rollback. I don't think it was a rollback, but it looked like a tow truck there. Had the door sitting on it, and the back end of the trailer was all smashed up. And then there was a white truck sitting in front of it. Well, actually, there was a truck backed up kind of in front of the trailer. There was no truck hooked to the trailer. It was a long nose that was in front of the trailer, and then in front of that was a white truck. I assumed that's the truck that belonged to the trailer. Well, as I was getting past it, I don't know if you could see that in the video, but because I haven't watched it yet, but the front end of it was smashed up. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and kind of watch it and see, get an idea of maybe what happened there. I don't know. But anyways, that backed me up and caused me to violate my clock. Yay me. But anyways, I chose this TA because there's Love's, Pilot, and a TA all right in here at this exit. I chose this TA though because it's got a Popeyes. I'm gonna run in and get me a chicken sandwich before I lay down and try to get some sleep, because I need it. I don't know when I'll post this video. Because I've also got to do paperwork for that Walmart load. I'll show you that real quick too. Got to put a timestamp on it, fill that out, and then I've got to do a trip sheet like this right here. Fill it out, and then scan it all in with my phone so that I can get paid for it. I'm sure they're ready for it. So yeah, I got to do that too before I can even lay down. Got to do that. As soon as I get off here, I'm gonna do a quick walk around on my truck, check the trailer out and everything. I got to put the lock on my trailer too, so I forgot to do it at the receiver, or I mean the shipper. And then I'm going in and getting me something to eat, and I am calling it a day. You guys be safe out there. Hope you enjoy. Happy Easter Sunday, by the way.